Okay. Greetings, friends. This weekend is really a wonderful weekend because we celebrate the Feast of Dedication of the Arch Basilica of St. John Lateran in Rome. You might say, well, what is that? Well, simply put, the church dedicated to both St. John the Baptist and John the Evangelist is the oldest church in Rome. It was dedicated in 324 when Constantine was converted to Christianity. And it is the mother church, right? And so grace flows from the mother church to all the churches in the world. Let me talk to you a little bit about how it flows, okay? In Ezekiel, the temple, the prophet saw water flowing, isn't that beautiful, from underneath the foundation of the temple, and it flowed eastward toward the sea of salt, the Dead Sea, way, way down beneath in the Jericho Plain desert, creating it into a beautiful paradise. Beautiful, isn't it? I saw water flowing. It always flows from somewhere, okay? And we see that originally it flowed from the temple. If you look at the structure of the book of Acts, according to the prophecies that God was going to do something like this in the world, in the creation of the church, we see that the church flowed from Jerusalem, the temple, into Judea, to Samaria, which is the northern tribes of Israel of ancient times, and from there to other most parts of the world. I saw water flowing, right? You can see how grace flowed from the temple. And then when the temple was destroyed, St. Peter established the first bishop of Rome, okay? And so Rome became the focal point, the place of the mother church. And grace always flows from somewhere, right? And this is true in the physical realm as well as the spiritual realm. It flows from the St. John Lateran, which is the cathedral church of Rome. You may wonder why St. Peter's Basilica is not the cathedral seat. Well, it's very simple. It's not as old as the St. John Lateran. The word Lateran comes from the area that the church was built and given to by Constantine way, way back in the 4th century. Old. If you're going to Rome with us in Italy, you'll see this ancient, ancient church. So, it flows. I saw water flowing. The grace of the church from our mother church in Lateran. Now this grace flows from Rome all the way across the waters to our diocese, right? And grace flows to us from our cathedral of Our Lady the Queen. Now, before that, it was the cathedral seat was in the old church, the basilica downtown. But that became too small. They built a new one, as you all know. And so it flows all the way to us here at St. Joe's. Remember our mission, right? Our vision. That St. Joseph's is going to be the spiritual, moral, and social heart of Eldersburg Sykesville. I saw waters flowing Okay, it flows from sacred space, which we sanctify and are sanctified in by our worshiping here together, the Holy Mass. And so our building here is the most important building in Eldersburg and Sykesville. Isn't that cool? And that's not said in some triumphalistic way or some, we're better than you type thing. It's just the fact that grace flows from the Mass, all right? And the church is built for the Mass, and water flows from the Mass into our hearts. I saw water flowing, and our hearts are the temples of God. And so wherever we go, whatever we do in Eldersburg, Sykesville, it's the grace that pours out of us, right? And so it's important to realize that grace flows out of physical sacred space and also through our own sacred space within us. And it's all connected way back to St. John Lateran. That's our mother church. So I'm looking forward to this week and looking forward to this celebration together on the weekend. We'll see you there. God bless.